That was a rough year for New England, but if you had to lose for a team, and given what would later happen with New England, okay, that was as good a one to lose to, because nobody could blame you for it.
Yeah, it was. There was no. I mean, they had no chance. So I'm not really that disappointed.
That was just a nightmare team. I just loved them. But anyway, I was so into it that and also I had all these new characters, and I figured, hey, they all have these kind of hot rods, Jim McMahon. Take your pick of Springer, probably Cup because he's late in his career, it'd be Walter Payton, Blurs, Willie Galt, and then you got the defense, I had a lot of fun with that, and it was also just a way to remember them, and also a team that was filled with a bunch of characters.
It was. I mean, I remember we had we had Bury the Bears T-shirts and stuff like that around here, and I was like a young kid, but I was like, we have no chance. Like, what do you mean bury the Bears? We are totally gonna get smoked. But I mean, it was hey, like I said, we had a good run, and that was the first year I think the Patriots had ever even made the Super Bowl, as far as I know.
Yes, it was.
So yeah,
the Steve Grogan and that other guy, the other guy that came in, I think Grogan knocked out at some point.
What was his name?
He didn't exactly get knocked out, but he kind of sat on the bench for a few quarters. Just said, I just too much flu.
Well, I was a big Steve Grogan fan as a kid. I think when you're a kid, you just like the quarterback, right? Like who?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, it's really funny because the first game that anybody ever took me to was the debut game for both Gale Sayers and Dick Butkus. And they were like, they're both Hall of Famer Bears, but that was their first game. And it was like, wow. However, they won the championship the year before that, and they wouldn't do it with that lineup, even though they had two of the best players ever played the game playing.
Yeah, it's funny. Football is funny like that. You could have the best players who never make.
Oh, I got to Oakland. I saw Kenny Stabler. First of all, I thought he looked really cool because he had gray hair, the same color as his helmet. He kind of looked like a riverboat gambler. Second of all, half the rules in the NFL are rules, based on what Kenny Stabler and John Madden did that you weren't supposed to do.
Yeah, I know.
The holy roller and the snake play, and and the grasp and immaculate reception and everything else, which was actually against them. The ghost in the post. Yeah.
I feel like Belichick is kind of the same thing. They're like inventing rules.
Oh yeah,
to get around the things that he's doing.
So
Belichick and Madden are very similar coaches, except, well, you realize Tom Brady and Bill Belichick broke Kenny Stabler and John Madden's record for most wins with a quarterback coach duo.
I do remember that. So fondly, yes, that's right.
No, yeah, well, I mean, I'm still a huge Brady fan. I never cared one way or another. Buccaneers, I'm rooting for them this year, mainly because I also rooting for the old guys.
Yeah, I always like the old guy. I was like Peyton, and near the end of his career, I'm like, yeah, Peyton Manning's all right, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I mean, well, you just like the guy in that case.
Right.
I love the fact that now Arch Manning is the best player in high school football, and they're already dressing him up for the NFL.
Hey, we need a Manning around, right?
Yeah, I know it's not complete without a Manning, and Arch Manning, oddly enough, is Cooper Manning's son. Okay, he's not either Peyton or Eli's.
Wow.
And Cooper was the
Yeah, I
oldest
didn't know
brother
that.
who was the most talented of all of them, but he had a congenital spinal defect, and so they wouldn't let him play because one bad hit and he'd be over.
Right. Jeez.
So, but he apparently, when the three of them be throwing the ball around, can you imagine the stuff that got thrown at poor Eli? I mean, he's a little brother. Imagine what came flying at that guy when he was about 7.
I know, the poor little kid. He'll probably end up being the best. The best one. Here we go. We have another. Here we go.
Yeah, we'll stop talking about football now.
Hey, yeah, sorry, Clay. We were just talking football, so.
I'll go for it. I have nothing to contribute, so.
Yeah, I know. I figured we'd get it out of the way before you guys.
Actually, in the book, it's a little bit relevant. It's very relevant to Transformers, the movie.
Yes, so we were definitely talking about.
Because the Decepticons were all these guys I didn't like Lawrence Taylor, and who's the guy that guy who's a great defensive end for the Redskins, but Dexter Manley.
Yeah.
There are all these nefarious guys on teams I didn't like. And when we were doing it, I got in this long debate with Judd Nelson, because he is the ultimate Miami Dolphins fan. I was particularly annoyed with the Dolphins. And what's really funny is, they broke the Bears' perfect season. However, they got just conveniently lost every time to the Raiders. So I was kind of, I kind of had mixed feelings about it.
Well, I mean, the perfect season, you include this because the Patriots, they had the perfect regular season and lost.
Right. They had an unfortunate thing happen with somebody catching a ball on his helmet.
On the helmet. Oh,
yeah,
God,
really.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, it's okay. We're just talking
well,
while you're waiting for you guys. We're all here now, I think, though. So, because I was talking about the part of the book where he equates a lot of the Transformers to football players and how fun that was. But I know you guys aren't huge fans, so.
The book, yeah, it was all right.
Huge Flint Dille fans.
No, I'm fans of the NFL. Of course, we're fans. But